Welcome. Today's talk is about interconnectedness. What do you think of when you think of that word, interconnectedness? Is it a spiritual concept, a relational concept, or perhaps both? Do you feel that it's an abstract spiritual concept that you feel you should endorse and you feel that you should adopt it, but you just don't know how? You don't know how to put your hands on it. Maybe it's something that you feel that you wish you had less of at some time. I think that we've all felt that way at some time or the other, particularly about that nosy neighbor. However, interconnectedness just might be something that is part of the spiritual fabric, something that's pre-existing in the universe. Let's explore this a little bit further by looking how it affects our lives. It must first be said that interconnectedness differs from interdependence a little bit, in that interconnection implies that there is some choice being exercised. Interdependence seems to connote that that's what we're stuck with. The definitions are very similar, but the connotations are that interconnectedness spreads a wider net, and it's something that we should pursue. It's certainly different. It differs from codependence. That's an entirely different subject for a different and separate discussion, and don't even get me started. But interconnectedness also means that there is a natural affinity between people. Even a shrewd cynic such as Mark Twain felt it. He said, "I am the entire human race compacted together. I have found that there is no ingredient of the race which I do not possess in either a small way or a large way." Interconnectedness also means that there is a counter to spiritual and social isolation. That's very important, and it's a compelling reason to search for interconnectedness. The most important point to be made about interconnectedness is that it is from God. This is an observation which is straight out of the Unity Playbook. Let's explore these points just a little bit further. When differentiating interdependence from interconnection, we don't mean to put a bad connotation or cast aspersions on interdependence. Interdependence is the spiritual imperative that we help each other in crisis, no matter what we think about each other. It is the impetus to put out the fire in our neighbor's house, to clear the roadway during a hurricane, or to provide comfort at the hospital. No matter what we think of each other, interdependence demands it at that moment. Despite our differences, our interdependence shows us the biblical truth as expressed in 1 Peter. The biblical truth that charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Interconnectedness, on the other hand, allows us to avoid crisis. We avoid crisis by bringing our spiritual gifts to light on a daily basis and spurring us to plan for the good of ourselves and others by choice. Interconnectedness is based on common desires, values, and goals. It calls us to a higher plane. The imagination is sparked by interconnectedness. Arts, music, justice, and the new fire station, they are all conceived for the satisfaction of civilization and ourselves because of our interconnectedness. It challenges us to answer the question posed in the book of James. What good is it if a man claims to have faith but no deeds? We are spurred to excellence because we do not want to let our spiritual partners down. However, when our spiritual partners do not feel this interconnectedness, there is a sense of alienation and social isolation, which is unhealthy. Indeed, at this very moment, there are studies being done now, particularly with our elderly population, which shows that isolation kills just as much and as surely as smoking. Isolation in prison is the ultimate punishment. This isolation can be overcome by spiritual interconnectedness. The helping hands of interconnectedness reach out. Programs to reach out and help the lonely, to provide comfort and support, and to provide helping hands of labor have long been staples of spiritual communities of all denominations. There's a reason for that. There's a thread through that. And these urgings, these spiritual urgings, need to be invigorated in this era of scattered relationships. On a personal basis, a kind word or an appreciative act can do wonders that we do not even know. The spiritual ripples far exceed what we can even imagine. And we should not be discouraged or overwhelmed. Let's surprise the world with our positive spirituality. We know something they don't. We are all connected through God. It is a unity principle that we all have a part of the Christ within, that divine spark that connects us with God and that connects us all with each other. We take the Old Testament passage that we are made in God's image, and we take that seriously. We also take note of Jesus's words in the New Testament. In the first book of John, he affirms to God, I and them, and you and me, that they may be completely one. Therefore, interconnections are confirmed through the scriptures. Interconnectedness is the bedrock of forgiveness, the reason to love our enemies, and the ability to see ourselves in others. The philosopher Bacon put it that our humanity were a poor thing, but for the divinity that stirs within us. Now, to be honest, I don't know if that was Francis Bacon or Roger Bacon, but I do know that everything goes better with bacon, and you do too. And everything is also better with a connection with spirit. William Penn, that great Quaker colonist, he maintained that true godliness does not turn men out of the world, but enables them to live better in it and excites the endeavors in it. In conclusion, we are connected by spirit. We can choose to accept the connections which help us, the connections which heal us, and the connections which love us. It is also important to try to become a connection which helps and heals others. This can sometimes be difficult. Working on ourselves can take a lot of self-honesty, and a lot of that self-honesty has to be balanced with self-love. Moreover, connections may come and go as we need them and as they need us, but they are never wasted. As the Daily Word this morning said, we release and move forward if we must with a grateful heart, and yet we are always still interconnected. Confucius said that we are all each other's teachers. We are a part of all whom we have met, and they in us. When we teach each other to help each other, heal each other, and love each other as Jesus did, and as we all aspire, then we all win. Thank you, and amen.